Susan. Don't worry about it.
All right,
You've seen
what's the
us.
deal, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, back again. It must be Tuesday night because I'm hanging out with my best friends, my family, my Panther family, and this is the C3 podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday evening. Joe, glad to have you here. You have been up and down, up and down, up and down. Are you happy to be back to normal?
I am. It's been an up and down season for me as well as for the Panthers. And I am glad to be back to normal. And more than anything, I'm glad at the the new friends we have on the show tonight.
Well played, sir. We also have our lead writer at CarolinaCatChronicles.com. He puts up everything nonstop. J-Ray, Justin Raymond, big play, J-Ray. How's it going, man? Thanks for joining us for your first time.
You got it. Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate it.
All right. We also got Ken Dye, the commish. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Tony? Been a little while since I've been on with you guys. Glad to be back.
I totally changed up the order of introducing people, and the champ.
The champ.
Champ. I mean, the belt, 47 teams down to the champ, the not-so-lazy Susan Tucker. Thanks for coming on the C3 podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
How does it feel to be the super champ?
I don't know. I guess weird more than anything else. It's good, though.
All right. Well, we'll get into that tonight, guys. We got a good show. But before we talk about that, just be sure to follow us at cat_chronicles on Twitter, like our Facebook page, sub up on YouTube, download it on iTunes and Stitcher. And if you're on iTunes and Stitcher, give us an upvote, a little thumbs up and a rating. It helps us move up among the podcasts, which there's a billion of them. So we got a good show tonight. The title of tonight's show is Wilson Gets Lucky and Luck Gets Deflated Balls. We'll take a brief look into this past weekend's matches, the beatdown in Foxborough, the miracle in Seattle, and as always, we'll jump into Panthers talk, prospects, roster moves, and all of that jazz that we think is coming down the pipe. But first, tonight's kind of like a little fantasy edition, and Ken, tell us what you want to tell us. Say you were the commissioner of a big-time C3 Fantasy Football League, the first annual, 48 teams, one champion. How was it to just oversee that project, Ken?
Actually, it was a little smoother than I anticipated it being, with the first year and everything. I think all those mock drafts that we did during the summer and stuff, and just getting familiar with the interface really did help. And all the GMs were real responsive. So if we had any issues or anything, which didn't really come up, just a couple of little things, and they let me know or whatever, let them know, and just handled it, and it went really smooth.
We're still looking and trying to locate Cool Hands Luke, who's still, I have to pay him $20. I don't know who he is though. And I've been trying to track this dude down. Is that you?
Yeah, it's my name.
It sounds like your name. Ken, you wanted to ask Susan, the not-so-lazy Susans beat out 47 other teams to take home the grand prize of $300 and a Kelvin Benjamin jersey.
Which I do have on tonight, by the way.
She is rocking it.
Nice.
Did you get the $300?
I did.
Have you already
That's
spent
the most important part.
I've only spent a little bit of it. I've saved most of it.
Very good. Very good.
She's so
That's what happens when you give money to an accountant. All right.
Good point. Very good point, Ken.
She's
It's
so
very
frugal.
tempting, but
Well, Ken wanted to ask you some questions about how you actually did this feat. Ken, you can go ahead and take over, and then me and Joe are just going to poke fun because we didn't even play in the league. We just tried to keep up with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually tried to play too, and I did okay, but I didn't do nearly as good as Susan here did. So, Susan, I've been dying to ask you this. What did you do what would you say would be the main thing that you did that helps you carry you to win this whole league thing here?
I don't know. I guess the thing that I try to do most is just find consistent players, and I want people on my team that are going to be consistent every week. I don't want the, I got to always drop and add and that kind of thing. I just look for steady, consistent players, and that's what I look for.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, there's some players that they'll put up 2 points, 4 points, and 38, but you never know when those 38 are coming, and really
Right.
those little 5 and 6 point games just really hurt you. So,
Right.
how did you approach the draft? What did you do to figure put together a draft strategy heading into this thing?
Well, I always do a couple mock drafts. So, of course, we had the mock draft with you guys, but I also do other ones just on my own. And I kind of watch and see who's going when and how much they're going for. So I just kind of monitor that. And then, the time draft, obviously, it's kind of you're stuck with the people that are available at the time. So, to be honest, I really wasn't happy with the team I ended up with in this draft. I made a couple of mistakes, and I really wasn't happy, and I thought, man, this is not going to be a good season. So I tried to fix what I could early on, and then I just kind of watched it from there.
Tell us who was your Jay said who's your first pick?
Sorry about that.
My first pick was Eddie Lacy, and to be honest, I didn't really want him, but I picked him. So,
What's your
Not
bad?
good.
Yeah.
Where did you draft?
I'm sorry?
What position were you?
I think I was 6th. I think I was right in the middle.
That would make better sense than for Lacey, because you need somebody who's going to really produce, but it's kind of hard to take a running back on a pass heavy team like Green Bay.
Yeah.
So I see your point on that.
Yeah.
But
Justin wrote our fantasy football piece for us all season long. So why don't you give Justin the rundown of your team real quick from top to bottom, and
Lord.
I want to see what his reaction. You don't have to do every player. Who are your main people?
Well, the team I ended up with really was very different from the team I started out with, because I originally drafted Nick Foles, and he got hurt, so I ended up with Mark Sanchez, and I had Hoyer there in the middle for a couple games, which was one of those desperation moves because there was really no one else out there. So I ended up with Sanchez and Ertz, and C.J. Anderson was one of those pickups in the middle. I think I picked him up in week 11, so that was a good pickup for me.
Of the year right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that was good. I'm trying to think who else I had. Oh, Jordy Nelson, I had him, which that's another thing. I don't usually like to have too many people from one team, and I drafted him as well as Eddie Lacy, so I wasn't thrilled about that. And then in the draft, I drafted 3 running backs from the Patriots, which was stupid, and I didn't pay attention to what I was doing, to be honest.
Who were they?
And I tried to pick up
See, that's
Ridley.
awesome that we don't even know who the 3 Patriot running backs are.
they have to be Marine.
They were Green, Ridley, and one of the supposed sleepers in White.
Something. Yeah.
Was that Jonas Gray or something?
White.
Like,
Oh,
So I cut him pretty quick, and then I got rid of Ridley, and I kept Vereen, but he was on my bench most of the season because he just didn't do anything.
All right.
I'll tell you, I've got a new rule for New England running backs. It's the same rule as I used to have for Mike Shanahan running backs. Run away. Don't pick any of them. You never know which one's going to be used.
Right.
Exactly.
You do. It's whoever's in week 15 that hasn't played. You just wait until the end, and LeGarrette Blunt's going to run for 150 yards
And 4 touchdowns.
What did you think? Did you have a close game this season that stuck out? Like this guy I know that played in the league, he lost his division by .02, the division championship by .02.
Mm-hmm.
was there any game that you kind of just squeaked out that was lucky? Do you remember, or did you just dominate?
No, I didn't. No, there was one of the games, and I think it was either to get into the playoffs or the first round of the playoffs that it was like we were watching, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he was on Twitter, and so we were going back and forth, and I'm like, man, I don't even want to know because it was so close, and I think I ended up winning by a few points. So that was kind of, and I felt bad. I feel bad because you're going back and forth on Twitter. And I felt bad for winning, so that's silly. But
no, you don't feel bad,
Never.
Joey.
Never.
Would you feel bad?
Never would I
feel
feel
bad
bad.
taking that $300.
For sure.
No, no, that felt pretty good.
I think my camera's out again, Joe. But
Yeah, it's going in and out.
You keep breaking it, Tony.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry if you can hear me, it's okay. I got a voice for radio.
And a face too.
The face for radio. That's what I'm going to say. What'd you think about the setup of this Super League that we put together? Was it cool or was it too crazy?
It was cool. It was, again, the biggest I've ever, played in. This is the first one that I've ever paid to play, and the first one that I've ever been in that had prizes. It's always just been for fun. So that was cool. And
aside from the grand prize, what did you think of the prizes?
Oh, I thought they were good, and I liked the fact that you guys switched it up and gave it, for, the most defensive points or the most, fumbles or whatever the ones that you did. I thought that was cool.
Okay, good.
It was good.
Yeah, we had some fun coming up with those because we just kind of sat around and came up with threw ideas out, and some were good, some weren't. I remember I was like, we got to have one, Mr. Mediocre. Oh, yeah. And somebody was like, even Steven, it's for like the most average score. And we're like, we got to put it right in the middle of the season, too. So those were the ones that I was really trying to win because I figured I didn't have a shot at anything else. So every time I'd be like, man, maybe I'll win the car flag or whatever. And I never won. I did win earrings. I did win those.
Good.
It was nice to see it kept people's interest a little bit, help keep interest in the league, and just a little something to add. And
it was good. That was great.
Okay.
And
how consistent was everybody setting their lineup? Pretty good.
I think there was 1 week that I got a reminder from someone else on there that said, hey, you might want to check your team, and thank you for that.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah. See, everybody was really nice. That's the other thing. This was not one of those leagues where everybody's really mean. Everyone was really nice. That's why I felt bad winning sometimes.
Sometimes.
Don't ever feel bad about
you never
that.
know who you're going to get. Anybody can join one of those free leagues, but I like the pay league. This is the first pay league I've been in, too, really. But I figure if somebody pays, even if it's just $20 to play, they're going to have a little skin in the game. They're not going to be so mean to everybody because, they got money on the line. So.
Right.
And actually, the entrance fee was really reasonable, and that was another thing that it didn't turn me away from it. So that was good, too.
Right. If we'd have come asking for like $75, people would have been like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Justin, were you in the league as well?
I asked you, and you're like, it's too.
Okay. I can't remember because we have 48 spots. I was just wondering. It was pretty neat. It was experimental. I don't think we had any major problems. It kind of went through. Next year, what we're going to try to do is get some more sponsors so that we can juice the prize pool up even more.
I think we're going to go for a little bit bigger of a league. Not a whole lot.
I think we stick with 48 and do 2 if we do it next year.
Oh, 2 48-team leagues.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the goal. But, Ken, did you have any last questions before we jump into the show?
I just wanted to ask you what your family did, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but, did people laugh at you or something at first, and then they find out you win and have to eat their words, or what?
All right, so I have 2 kids. I have 2 boys. One's 15 and one's 11. So, of course, they laughed at me, and they're like, Mom, you just threw your money away. But they were in another league with me, and both of them lost horrendously, and I didn't do too bad in that one. So when I told them I won, they didn't believe me. They were like, "No way." And I said, "Yeah, really." And so I think they were a little impressed, even though they won't admit it.
Of course not.
I
They
believe
gotta
it
be
totally.
saying,
I
"Oh,
believe
right."
it totally. You know more football than I do.
No, I don't think that's true.
How long
I
have you been
just think
playing fantasy football?
Since actually I looked it up, 2007 was when I first started playing.
Very cool.
So it's been a while.
Justin, how do you go? Justin, you go by Jay or Justin, by the way?
It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to call me is fine.
Just don't call him late for dinner.
Exactly.
How old would you have been in 2007?
Oh, jeez.
Uh,
Come on now.
I'm trying to think. I started playing fantasy football in 2001, and I was Joey. You could help me with this. 20.
That would be about right. Yeah.
I think I was 18.
I started playing a while. It was really before it got popular. I mean, way back. It was somewhere around
Right.
2000, 1998, 99. Around, yeah, because I remember when Peyton Manning was a rookie.
All right. Well, we had to keep up with stats in the newspaper when I first started.
Right. That's when I played.
Write them
1990.
down.
1990.
A piece of paper. But let's go ahead and jump into the show. Susan, you can hang out if you want. If not, you can jump in or out. We're going to talk about a little Seattle football and Indy, luck, cheating, all of that jazz. So it's entirely up to you. Okay.
I'll hang out for a little bit.
All right, cool. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about this past weekend's games. Or what about this? Seattle with a miracle overtime comeback to beat the Green Bay Packers 28-22. Russell Wilson throws 4 picks. He has a 50% completion rate, 1 touchdown, 209 yards, and a miracle 2-point conversion. Joey, did Seattle really win this game?
Seattle did win the game, but more than them winning it, Green Bay lost it. Because all they had to do was recover the onside kick, and the game's over. That's all it would have taken. Onside kick recovery.
And the guy that fumbled it is from Florence, which is where I live.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I think Green Bay was just as shocked as everybody else because they couldn't believe what was going on, but they could do nothing to stop it. No matter what they did, they were going to. It wasn't enough. Whatever they did, they just couldn't stop them.
Jay, did you think that Green Bay lost this game or that Seattle won it?
Well, first off, I'd like to say I'm not a Seattle fan, so I'm going to go ahead and say the Packers lost this game. I think it was with 4 minutes left, the Packers might have got a pick maybe towards the end of the game. The guy just fell down instead of running to the end zone. I'm pretty sure the whole other side of the field was wide open. So I feel like at that point, I don't know, they just couldn't get a first down and momentum changed, and Seattle got the ball back, and Russell Wilson, did his magic.
Mm-hmm.
Susan, what did you think about this game? Did you watch it?
Oh, of course I watched it. I think 2 things. One, I think that this game is a perfect example of anything can happen in a football game. I mean, all of us were sitting there thinking that the Packers had it, in the bag, and I don't think anyone really expected all of that to happen. So I think this is a real good reminder that, you should never assume how a game's going to end until it's over. And then the other thing, I hate the guy that did the mess up on the onside kick. He's from Newberry, which is where I went to, so I feel really bad that everybody's blaming him. You can't blame, in my opinion, you can't blame a win or a loss on one person or one play, because the way I look at it is you shouldn't have your team in that position where it depends on one person or one play. So I blame the whole game management in the beginning. I think they did some things early that they should have maybe been a little bit more aggressive on. So that's my thoughts.
Well, you can say that play was the turning point in the game, for sure.
Turning point, it was, well, yeah, I mean, kind of, is that it still should have been over. I don't even care if they lost the dang onside kick. Still losing that game is insane.
Momentum had totally shifted sides at that point. It was over. It was over.
The series of events that occurred there were beyond just regular football play. They were divine in some ways. And we knew that mess was going to happen. I knew it. I knew the whole time. Russell Wilson, 4 picks. I was like, this dude is going to do something stupid like win this game. Ken, what did you think about this game? What was your reaction? I was at a bar watching this.
Yeah, I started to get that creeping feeling, especially when they scored and then we were going to kick the onside kick, and everybody knew what was coming. And then when the guy, reached up thinking a football was about 4 feet wide and letting the ball go through and hit him in the helmet, the face mask, I felt bad for the guy. And that was even before I knew who he was, where he was from. But you just have to feel for somebody like that because, like we're saying, he gets blamed for this, but it's not all his fault. Yeah, he could have ended it, but so could a lot of his teammates with making a play or making a stop somewhere along the way at some point. So, but I think what this game does above anything else is really put Russell Wilson, I think, solidly in that elite category. Just because he had that 1 for 8 start, and he didn't get down in the dumps. He kept pushing, and he led the team to a very highly improbable victory. And at the end of the game, he was connecting perfectly on his throws. I mean, at crunch time, that's what you want. I don't like the Seahawks either, but I'm just telling it like I see it. I mean, the guy has something special to him. Got to admit that.
Special, yes. He is special. Elite's tough to get, too.
Well, he's got a ring. He's probably going to get another one, I think. We'll see. But, he's young.
He wasn't given a chance. With that mess. You ain't going to beat Bill Belichick with no 4 picks.
No.
Stranger things have happened, I think.
I just don't think he's been in long enough.
The undefeated Patriots, so there you go.
Joey, how big of balls does Pete Carroll have to call that fake field goal?
He has wrecking balls. It's why because it was a brilliant move, I thought. I thought it was a brilliant coach move. Nobody was expecting it. Everybody was thinking they're going to go ahead and settle for 3, get the points, and that'll be that. And he pulled it. He called it, and it was perfect. Perfect timing, I thought. Thought it was a brilliant move.
Yeah, I mean, we like to look back at the game and say there was no other choice at that moment, right? There's no other choice but to be that aggressive. But it was amazing. To the left side where all the guys were lined up to the other side. It was crazy. Justin, did you see our boy Peppers out there?
I did. To start the game, he was doing stuff, getting to the quarterback, pushing over the offensive lineman. But towards the end of the game and in overtime, I didn't see him out there. I guess he took the rest of the game off.
Oh, gosh. There
Lazy.
you guys go.
Yep.
There you guys go. All right.
Hey, I love the guy, but he slacks off.
I'm the only one that's sad for him right now.
Yes.
I am?
Oh, yeah, I'm not sad for him at all.
Nope.
Nah, we paid him, what was it, $6 for 1 season?
I don't know. I mean, he made a lot of dough, but so did Greg Hardy.
That's true. He played one game.
Okay, my question, and I'm going to ask, I'll start with Susan on this, is what does this game do for your views about Russell Wilson?
I wouldn't say that he's elite yet. I think he's probably on his way there. My whole problem, like I have this argument all the time with people about Eli Manning. It shouldn't take only certain games to show that. If you're truly elite, you should show up all the time, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about that.
Well, we know Ken thinks he's special and that this was elite status. Justin, did this change your views concerning Russell Wilson? Because he kind of stole my mojo on this question.
Well, if Russell Wilson wins the Super Bowl, I think he belongs in that elite category. Because to me, he's a winner. He's very accurate outside the pocket. I mean, to me, it doesn't look like he has many, issues at all. As far as Eli going, I still don't think he's elite. And then that whole talk with Joe Flacco is just funny to me. So,
ditto.
I don't know.
He just pretty much said what's on my mind.
Joey, did it change your mind about Russell Wilson?
No, I thought he was good. I thought he was. I would even say he's special. But I don't think he's quite elite yet. I just don't think he's been in the league long enough to be able to say he's elite. You have to see it for a few more seasons before you can anoint him that way. I think. That's just my opinion.
I can't believe you guys are being so easy on this guy. He had a horrible game.
Well, it's the fact that he came back and brought his team back from that.
That's the special part about him.
That's what makes me
one. It's less about him being a quarterback than just having some divine blessing on himself. You know what I'm saying?
Leadership.
Like, if you know Russell Wilson, he's been like this his whole life. Like, you could tell him that his whole family died in a plane crash, and he would still lead you to a comeback victory. I mean, like, he is – it's nauseating that he could have 4 picks, 50% completion rate, 1 touchdown, a 2-point conversion that hung in the air for like 8 days.
Oh my God.
That was pretty bad.
I'm sorry. This is not just Russell Wilson being good. This is the Green Bay Packers crumbling.
Well, it's the fact that they have the number 1 defense behind them too. So.
That definitely helped.
Yeah.
Man, Aaron Rodgers was eating those dudes up. Eddie Lacy was running on those kids. That defense is outside the secondary. It's okay in the front and the middle comparatively. That secondary is locked down, but then you get Sherman, who got hurt. You get Chancellor, that didn't have the game he had against Carolina. And then you got the other dude that got hurt. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying this is that Aaron Rodgers beat that team. He beat them. Straight up. And they made some mistakes in other aspects of the game. I think Aaron Rodgers had a wonderful game. Like, to me, he once again showed he's the best quarterback in the league.
How many yards did Lacy get? Didn't he do pretty well?
Yeah, he was running early on them. I saw that.
And see, that's where I blame the coach for a lot of it, because I think the latter part of the game, the play calling wasn't as good as it was in the beginning. And, they didn't take advantage of Sherman being hurt or anything like that. So I just feel like I put more of the blame on him.
All right. I want to ask this question to you guys, and we'll start with Ken's first, is if this would have happened to the Carolina Panthers, if the Carolina Panthers would have lost this game in this fashion to the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC Championship, what would your reaction been? Would you have been like Cam is a special person?
It's kind of off the wall. I don't know. If Carolina had been on the losing end like Green Bay was, you mean?
If they were wearing Green Bay's, if those Green Bay jerseys were Carolina Panther jerseys, how would you feel as a Carolina Panthers fan this Tuesday evening?
I'd have conflicting feelings. Number one, I would be just thankful that we got that far, based on how we did over the regular season. And really, I am that way now. Just goodness, being 3-8 and 1, and then coming in and winning the division, even if it's 7-8-1 or whatever, and then winning a playoff game. We actually had a better season than we did last year. We went 12-4. So
it'll
I
be
think
a moral victory.
Well, I think it says that the team is pointing in the right direction, and that they're learning how to win. They got to the playoffs last year, had a taste of it. They got to the playoffs again and actually won a game this year. So it's just going to help feed that hunger and drive them even further into the playoffs next year, I think. I mean, we're a team on the rise.
Ken's too rational for me. Justin, how would you feel if Cam Newton was given that same speech that Aaron Rodgers gave?
Well, at first, I would be pretty pissed off that we lost that game. That game was in the bag. But then, like Ken was saying, overall, the way the season ended, it was good. We have promising rookies, so next year looks promising, like we'll do even better. So a lot of good things came out of it, even though it would end badly. But then again, of course, I would want to go to the Super Bowl. Who wouldn't? But then would talks come up saying, maybe Cam Newton doesn't deserve this money. There might be a whole bunch of stuff coming out of that game that people would be talking about. So,
Susan, do you think people in Green Bay are going right now, Russell Wilson is elite and he leads them to victory? Or do you think they are saying something different?
I think they're probably saying something very different. I don't know. I think if all things were equal and the Panthers had been in that position, I'd be upset with, how the game went, obviously. But I would absolutely be calling for Rivera and Shula's head, because if you think about how our season went and how we played a lot of our games, that game management is pretty indicative of what we did the rest of the season. So to get that far and then have the game fall apart like that, if Cam had played exactly the same game that Aaron Rodgers had played, then I would put more of the blame on the coaches.
You know what she's saying, Joey, is she's saying that's exactly how it would have gone.
Right.
Had the Carolina Panthers been there, and Ron Rivera would have tried to settle for a 38-yard field goal or something like that. That's exactly what she's saying, Joey. How were you, if you were a Green Bay Packer fan, and this was the Carolina Panthers this happened to, what would you be doing right now?
Well, I know the fans in Green Bay are calling Russell Wilson something that rhymes with trucking gas mole. For myself, if this would have been the Panthers, I would have gone and looked for the rusty razor blades, because I would have wanted to slit my wrists.
oh man,
Because this loss would have been such a devastating. I mean, I would have been so emotionally involved in this game. To see victory grasped, the loss grasped from the jaws of victory would have made me want to kill myself. I say that facetiously, of course.
I keep thinking wide world of sports and the skier tumbling,
Right, and that's really what it would have been like. It would have been like you were right on the, the precipice of winning, and
You won.
right,
You beat them.
right,
You beat them and lost.
right.
You beat
then
them.
the boulder falls
and you
on
lost.
Wile E. Coyote.
You beat everything. You know what is, Justin, you know how this feels. ECU did this and then lost to UCLA.
Oh, God.
Hail Mary. That is what I feel like, is that, like, I was at the bar watching this game, and I don't go to the bar very often because I got 3 kids, so I was out and I was having a good time. I was enjoying this total Aaron Rodgers show and clinic he was putting on. Green Bay was eating it up. Peppers was getting sacks. I was having a blast.
Mhm.
And then my
Oh, yeah.
wife is like, it's time to come home. We got to cook dinner. Can you stop? I was like, yeah, this game's over. I'm about to walk out the door. And then all of a sudden the damn thing's going into overtime. It was bull. It was terrible. Russell Wilson is special. It doesn't have to be him with being a quarterback. He's got a divine aura to him. But look, here's another thing about this week, though, guys, is that if we look to the other side, if we look to the AFC, so we go to Foxborough and the matchup between the supposed quarterback titans, Tom Pretty Boy Brady host Andrew Caveman Luck. And I thought it was going to be a good game. I did. I thought it was going to come down to a neck hair, and it wasn't. It was blowout city. LeGarrette Blount just steamrolled the Indianapolis Colts. He had 3 touchdowns, 148 yards. Luck, not so lucky. 2 picks, 36% completion rate, no touchdowns, and a measly 126 yards. Joey, add to this a cheating scandal, and Luck was playing with deflated balls. How impressed were you about this Indy loss and this Patriot victory?
I was pretty impressed. I thought it would be a good game, just like everyone else. It could have been Luck's coming out party, so to speak.
It was. It totally was.
There's no innuendo here at all.
He really dropped the ball, literally. Did not play well. The team did not play well. And I think they were just dominated they were outplayed and outcoached, I felt like. And I thought that...
That's it. He stunk. They stunk.
I thought that would be the difference in the game. I thought it would come down to coaching. And it did, but it wasn't the difference in the game. They just dominated.
How bad were they, Justin?
They were terrible. Throughout the season, they were up and down all season.
Mm-hmm.
Their record may look good, but you look at some of those games, they were blown out. Not sure what happened. With that team that they have, they should be able to put up a lot of points. Their defense is solid. There has to be something going on with the coach in there.
Ken, what the hell happened to Luck? What really happened to him? I thought he was. I better not hear a lead out of you on this guy.
No, I think what happened to him in part was Talib and Revis. You know, people don't give the New England's defense enough credit. They've got a really solid, really solid. I mean, if you want to talk about elite, you might want to look into their defensive backfield with the group they've got. They got some big physical linebackers. Hightower from Alabama, he's like 265. So they got a big defense, big front seven. They've got an all-star back four, and then they got Tom Brady. You know, I mean, that's a good team.
Obviously, they're the best defense ever.
I didn't think that this was going to be a close game because Indianapolis does not have a very good defense. They just don't. They've got that corner they got from Miami a couple years ago, but who else? You know, they don't really have any names on defense. Who can you name?
They played well against Peyton, though.
Yeah, they played well. They've had their
I'm about to fall off. Come on, man.
I understand that. All right. Susan, you get to watch my antics a little too often, probably. And you see that I go crazy on Twitter. I'm a bizarre person. Have I taken the Andrew Luck hate too far in saying how much I enjoyed this? Do you think is it
not far enough? I don't know.
No, I don't think you've taken it too far. I think it's pretty appropriate.
Are you hating Luck because he's not a Carolina Panther, or why are you hating on him?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Why do I hate Andrew Luck? Number one is because, he turned us down because he thought he was going to have a prettier date in Indianapolis. Number two, he went back to school for interior design. Architect. It was architectural design, but I call him an interior design major. Number three, he looks like a caveman. He is the ugliest dude on the planet. Not the planet, but second to Meatloaf. Number 4, and I think this is all what it really comes down to. Here is the thing. Other than him disregarding Carolina Panthers, it's just the idea that he is going to be great no matter what. That there is no possible planet where he cannot be to the level of Tom Brady. And I'm just going to say this, is that, and this is me because I'm a Cam Newton, that's my boyfriend, and I don't feel like this, is I think like everybody thinks Cam Newton is going to fail, and it would be surprising if he succeeded, and everybody thinks Andrew Luck is going to succeed, and it would be surprising if he failed. And I don't think it's that clear. And I just would say, if that Cam Newton had 2 picks, a 36% completion rate, no touchdowns, and 126 yards against the Patriots and that so-called elite defense, he would be run out of the town.
You're right. The media would be all over him. They always are.
He would have been slaughtered in the media.
And I think that right now we're not being hard enough on him. And my buddy says it's so tired every time that Andrew Luck makes a bad throw or something like this that I'm on Twitter going crazy about it. But they've made me this way, man.
You know, there's that so-called Panther fan that loves Andrew Luck on Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
You know who I'm talking about?
Monty.
Yeah.
I can't think of his Twitter handle.
His name is his real name is Monty, and I can tell you, I'll look it up. But my man he's got his knees are rug burned.
Exactly. That is exactly right.
Did you notice he was really quiet?
Yes. You didn't hear a peep out of him till the next day.
Not a damn word. Look, people are dropping like flies, so whoever is left standing, please carry the torch. All right, let me ask you guys this then, because we won't trash Monty too much. Yes, we will. You suck, Monty. Just go ahead and...
Did you read all of what he was saying before the game? How this is going to be no shining moment for Luck, and everybody's going to really see how good he's going to be after this game. I mean, he was hyping him up so much. It was sickening. And then he turned around and says, I'm a Panther fan.
Yeah, you know what he's got is Indianapolis Colts underwear on. Like that dude in the Transformer movie that got like the S13 shirt or whatever. Okay, is Luck just a victim of cheating, Joey?
No, I don't think so. I think he
doesn't like softballs. Right.
I think the weather can affect the air pressure of a ball. I don't think the referees, they touch the ball a lot. If the referees would have felt the ball being flatter than it should be, I think they would have gone and made somebody put air in it. I don't think they would have let it play knowing the ball is flat.
But this is repeated. I mean, is this a case where there is smoke, there's got to be fire?
Are they cheaters in New England? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're Yankees.
Yes, they're cheaters. I would say that. I mean, they have a history of it. And usually with the history, there is some truth to it. Some element of truth. So I would say they are, yes. I don't think that's the reason Indianapolis lost this game, though.
No.
Well, yeah, LeGarrette Blount didn't have any problem. Now, I have a hard time believing this right here, is this idea that both teams provide their own footballs and that they only use the footballs that they provided when they're throwing the football. So, like, Indianapolis brought their own footballs and they only play with their own footballs?
Yeah.
And then, why is that? That's the dumbest rule ever. Why don't you just make them play with the same effing football and then it's not a problem?
Because they have so much money, they can afford to bring their own balls and change them out every so often.
Well, Luck forgot his.
Guys, I've heard different things about this. I don't know which to believe really. I've heard, that both teams would have to play with them. If that was the case, then both teams would be playing with a deflated ball. All sorts of things. Equipment managers. The ball's been outside for 3 hours. Who knows? It's hard to sort through. Sorry.
Susan, do you think this is systemic cheating? Like, I mean, is this like an institution? Did Bill Belichick demand that these balls be deflated?
I don't know if he did. I could see him doing it. Can you?
No.
Yeah, I love that answer right there. Because you're just going to go ahead and say what we're all thinking.
I mean, sure. Like you said, when there's smoke, there's fire, and people don't. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle with all of the things that they've done or been accused of over the years. But, we don't hear it about too many of the other teams, and the other teams that you do hear about usually did it. So, I don't know.
Well,
I don't find it, I believe it.
One thing that he does, if I might interject, he does walk that fine line between, kind of that quasi-gray area. I think we all saw the different formations he was using on offense. He's got the 4 linemen and then the receiver out, players ineligible. And the other team doesn't know it until the referee's standing there and points at him and the ball snap. That's just using the rules as they're written to your advantage. As far as he went, that was brilliant, I thought, on that. And, it's something you can't really do much because once you do it, people know. And but they weren't against the rules. There weren't any flags, and those plays worked. But then he went back to it the next game, and they were actually ready for it, I think. So I didn't use it, but it just kind of goes to show the mindset, the outside the box thinking, and maybe pushing a little too hard or too far in certain areas. I could actually see him doing something about that with the footballs.
For all his accused cheating, I'm going to say, the accusations and suspicions that there are, one thing you can say about Belichick is he is a winner and he is an elite coach.
Yep.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Is the next step him putting like some like hydrocodone in the Gatorade? All right. Well, Justin, welcome back.
Sugar.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Everybody was dropping like flies with the show must go on. This show is not. I tell you one thing is calling us a show. A is generous. B is outside. If there wasn't technical difficulties, it wouldn't be the C3 podcast. That's for damn sure.
For sure.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll move on. Did New England cheat, Justin?
Absolutely. I can't wait for Belichick to write a book because I can't wait to see how many other times he cheated and did not get caught. My brother's a Patriots fan. I'm tired of him saying they're not cheating.
Oh, that's a lie.
Oh, I know what's going to happen.
Me crazy.
Bill Belichick's going to write a book. He's going to put $19.99 on it. You go to the register, they'll charge you $29.99. That's how it's going to work.
And then he won't return your phone call. His press. I love him. I love the guy. I think he's great for football.
We're on to Cincinnati.
I have come down to the idea that that these people that we think are terrible in their kind of like their character. We thought Dave Gettleman was going to suck. And his press conferences are amazing. Like Bill Belichick has the word. His personality is so bad, it's good. So, all right, last question for this game, and then we're going to move on and talk some Carolina Panthers stuff, is Josh Cribbs. Some people have suggested his name might be a fit for the Carolina Panthers. He muffed a punt, a big fumble early in this game. He seems like old for a returner. Is this a guy that you guys would like to see in Carolina? I'll let you guys just jump in.
No.
And he's older than my grandmother.
That simple.
I think he sucks.
Nice.
Didn't he send out a tweet that he was going to do something really good or something? I don't know, before the game. He ended up fumbling on the first play of the game. I got to look it up. He said something.
No, no, I don't want him.
He totally did that. All right, well, that answers that question rather easily.
Sorry, we couldn't make it more interesting than that.
No. Let's move on to something. Here, I got something. I got a special treat for you guys if I can get it to work. That is the number one thing. Joe, tell them what to do with Amazon while I get this ready.
Oh, with Amazon, please go to the C3 website, you Amazon shoppers, and check out our tabs at the top of the screen. We have a Shop Amazon tab. You go to our site, click the Shop Amazon tab, and do your regular shopping like you normally would. It's just another avenue for you to be able to get to Amazon while you're visiting our site. Amazon shows a little appreciation toward us by having this tab on our site and giving us a little bit something back for whatever you purchase. So please, next time you go look for something on Amazon, go through the CarolinaCatChronicles.com site to do so, and you'll help a small business get off the ground and keep pounding.
And you can buy Panther stuff on Amazon, so it works out.
Exactly, perfect.
Exactly. All right, so let me see. Maybe we can hold on. Let me see if I can get the camera right. I think I got it right here. If I get this out of the way. Now you tell me if you can hear the sound on this. This thing is awesome. Can you hear that?
No sound.
Hold on. Maybe I can do it like this.
Stick the pencil in the little thing and turn.
Can you hear that a little?
Yeah,
a little.
I heard a little bit. He said he's excited. That's all I heard.
I'm excited.
Heard it again.
Younger talent under contract, and young talent that everybody in Charlotte should be excited about. I just, like I said, I'm just really excited about what we have to work with, and I'm excited about this group, top to bottom. I felt in Kishke's leave me there. I mean, you can look at me like I'm nuts, but there's a Blue Goose pass rusher there, or a Blue Goose defensive tackle sitting there. You know, I'm not going to be afraid. 3 more good players. 4, 5, 6, 7. Last year we were shopping in the dollar store. I think this year we'll be able to move up in class a little bit to answer your question, Bill.
This year it's Nordstrom's.
I don't go shopping, so we're Nordstrom's on the scale.
He goes through Amazon.
Blue Goose team.
The C3, baby.
When I watch, now this is really every year. I mean, which one's December record? I mean, it's Meshuggah. It's crazy. So there's no resting on your laurels. I'm not going to talk about contracts, so don't go there. I believe he's a franchise quarterback. I just told you that. So to answer your question, we're moving, we're thinking, we're planning, we're strategy. Big men win. It's just the way it is. One of the things that got lost in the sauce with us offensively were all the injuries.
All right, my question is, do we have the coolest GM on the planet?
You have the one that I'd least like to meet in a dark alley somewhere.
There.
I think we need like a dictionary for all the words he comes up with. Don't know half of it.
We do. It's a special Yiddish dictionary. Kishkis, Meshuggah, Blue Goose, right?
Yeah.
This guy.
One Blue Goose, wasn't that the name of the airline in the Gordon Gekko was trying to take over originally?
Oh, for I don't know, for the original Wall Street. I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah,
On Wall Street.
Blue Star. That's what it was. Yeah.
Blue Star, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Joey, how cool is Dave Gettleman?
He is very cool. If you could ever imagine a Jewish mobster, he would be the guy.
Are we too quick? Susan, where are you from?
Um,
I know where you live at now. You live in South Carolina, but are you from South Carolina?
no, I grew up in Florida, but I'm from New York.
Okay. So, does Dave Gettleman speak to you personally then?
I love him. I really do. I like listening to him. I think he's smart, and I don't think he gets enough credit. I like him.
Jay, do you think what do you think? Look, we came into this season with a terrible offensive line. The idea was to just let Cam Newton run for his life. Let Byron Bell fall down, or look silly in the process. Nate Chandler, who stinks. Is this guy a genius, or did he just pull a rabbit out of his hat towards the end?
Honestly, I think it was a rabbit out of his hat. Just because I'm going off of what he did with Steve Smith. That still bugs me. So as far as I can tell, him moving around the offensive line, finding something that works, that's great. But I think he really got lucky with that one.
Ken, are you the same? Do you think he's made these? He's kind of a mix of both. You know, I mean, he played it hard this year. He gambled hard, and he's done it 2 years in a row, and it's paid off a little bit. Is this luck, or is this him just being a super GM?
Well, in this case, luck's where preparation meets opportunity. He certainly does come across somebody who does his homework, does due diligence on the players. When you're shopping at the dollar store, as he said, you're not always going to, get a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
We really hit it big with Mike Mitchell last year, and a couple others like Ted Ginn. We got probably more production out of him than we paid for, but that really didn't happen this year. At least not with the defensive help we got. Defensive backs, no.
I have breaking news.
What's that?
Randall Cobb is a Carolina Panther.
Chris Mortensen is reporting that the NFL has found 11 of the Patriots footballs used in Sunday's AFC title game were underinflated by 2 pounds.
No way.
Yeah, that's what it just tweeted.
What is this supposed to be inflated to? Is it like a tire? It's supposed
13. It's supposed to be 13 pounds.
So it was 11. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal then. It's almost 10%.
That's a lot in a football. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
ton in a
actually
football.
2 pounds? Yeah.
What's their
Justin was
punishment?
right. Cheaters.
Which will make for better control of the football when you throw it and better grip when you're running with it.
Especially in the cold.
Cold weather, that's a huge factor.
Justin wants to know what the punishment. I'll tell you what the punishment is. Is they're going to lose their compensation picks in the 8th and 12th rounds of whatever.
Right.
That don't
The
matter.
2048 draft. Yeah.
They should make them. Why don't they do what they did to Paterno and make him forfeit all of his wins?
Only to get it back a few years later.
Why don't they take them out of the Super Bowl game?
Let's go ahead, and we're already an hour deep, and we still got 2 things to talk about and do our last segment. So let me ask you guys this: is who playing in the playoffs right now do you foresee being a Carolina Panther in 2015? Is there a guy? Well, actually, not right now, because after this championship weekend, Justin, you wrote an article that went up to this afternoon on Randall Cobb becoming a Carolina Panther. Is that a real option in your mind?
I don't know about a real option. It sounds like a great option for our offense, but I don't know if the Packers are going to be willing to let him go. If he was on our team, I mean, he could line up as wide receiver in the backfield. He can return punts. I mean, he could be huge help. He could stretch the field, help out Kelvin Benjamin, Greg Olsen. I mean, that'd be pretty deadly. And if Cam Newton probably won't be able to overthrow him too as well, so that would help too as well.
We need somebody like that. Is there anybody, Susan, that you see right now that you want to be a Carolina? I mean, obviously, there's plenty of people we want to be a Carolina fan. But realistically, is Randall Cobb an option for the Carolina Panthers, or do you think we're going to be settling for something, a smaller name on offense?
Yeah, I mean, as great as it would be to have him, I don't think we'll be able to work it. I really don't. I'll be very surprised if we do. I think Edelman's going to be out there shopping.
I saw that he was estimated, Joey, at $9 million.
Somebody I saw today projected him 17.5.
Whoa!
I know. I was like, that's crazy.
I wouldn't even want to pay that much for him.
No, he's not worth it.
I wouldn't even want to pay 10 for him because you got to think he's playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I mean, you don't want to call him a system guy, but he certainly hasn't been playing with Mark Sanchez.
Right.
So if you can, there's a very deep receiver class though, and I don't think that helps his prospects when it comes to money. You got Torrey Smith, you've got Jeremy Maclin, you've got him, you've got Dez, you've got Demaryius Thomas. There are a ton of names. You know what the only name last year was Eric Decker.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude got paid. You think Eric Decker, if he was in this class, Joey, he would be getting that money?
No, sir.
No, not at all. All right, last part. I want to do this. I'm going to ask each one of you to finish this sentence. Okay? Easy. Andrew's luck, and we'll start with Joey, so we can give everybody some time to think about it. I'm going to put you on the spot, Joey. Andrew Luck's game in New England was blank.
Andrew Luck's game in New England was a hot, steaming pile of garbage.
Okay. All right, Justin. Andrew Luck's game in New England was blank.
I think his game was deflated.
Well played. Well played. Ken, Andrew Luck's game in New England was blank.
Caveman-like.
Caveman-like. Neck hair and all. Susan, you can do better than that. Andrew Luck's game in New England was blank.
I'm just going to go with bad because I'm not creative and you guys are alone.
The obvious thing is,
Right.
you know.
I'm excited to answer this. Andrew Luck's game in New England was validating. It was validating to me, to all the people that think that Andrew Luck is the second coming of Jesus Christ in a damn football jersey, is that your ugly ass played about as ugly as you look. And it was validating to me to say this, is that you're a good quarterback. I could believe you can be good, but life, we don't ever know what's going to bring you, and Cam Newton's going to kick you in the face. Next.
Hey, hold on. Compare Andrew Luck to RG3, since you think Andrew Luck is that bad.
Ooh.
I feel bad for RG3 because everybody turned on him so fast. So I think RG3 is too thin. I think he's too thin for the NFL. But I also think that he's been mentally broken at this point too. So it doesn't really matter about his frame. But what I think about RG3 is I hated RG3 so much when he came on as a rookie because everybody just threw Cam to the wayside for him and Andrew Luck. They just forgot what wonderful games the season he had as a rookie, and they just said, "This is the hot." I remember damn Mike and Mike in the morning, Mike Greenberg saying that this was the best rookie season ever, and he could see him becoming the best football player ever, RG3. And so I hated him then, but this is what I don't like, and now I feel sorry for him is because everybody just acted like they didn't say that shit. And that drives me nuts. So now I kind of want him to do well.
Because everybody's down on it.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like how the idea of is we pick the favorite rather than just like I think that Cam Newton, they thought he was going to be a bust before he was ever played a snap, and it doesn't really matter what he does. It's never going to be because of him. But like tonight or today, I mean, Andrew Luck has the most putrid game in playoff history potentially. Not that, but
Nobody's
yeah.
talking about it.
And nobody gives a crap, and it's just annoying. All right, Joey, you view Russell Wilson's performance as blank.
I view Russell Wilson's performance as having been divinely intervened upon.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like that is that it was beyond any players. It didn't have anything to do. That was a chess game played with with somebody from above.
But he's not elite now. Okay, I
He's
got
not elite. It's because yeah. Well, I mean Hercules had some help. You view Russell Wilson's performance as blank, Justin.
I say ballsy. He threw 4 picks, but still went out there, got the job done. Was still he was consistent towards the end of the game. I mean, he turned it around. His mind was, straight. So I would say ballsy.
Inflated, ballsy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Overinflated.
Yes. You view Russell Wilson's performance as blank. Yeah.
inspiring. If you look
got
at
good
it,
words.
well, if you look at it from
You got good words.
Well, if you look at it from, being punched in the mouth, kicked down, you got a big hill to climb, and he climbed it. And other people can look at that and say, and maybe take away from it from the game and apply it to their life somewhere. Who knows? I mean, it'll just help remind people that, hey, you get down, you get kicked, you get back up, and you keep fighting. Good things can still happen. It could be the end of the fourth quarter, and it looks like all is lost, but you don't ever give up until that clock says 0.
And then Golden Tate sleeps with your wife.
Golden Tate sleeps with my wife. Okay.
No, that's what the rumor was that Golden Tate had an affair with Russell Wilson's ex-wife.
Get out of here.
That's why I threw 4 picks.
Why she's an ex-wife?
Okay, Susan, you view Russell Wilson's performance as blank.
Okay, I'm limiting it to this game, and I'm going to use the word surprising, because in the beginning it was surprising because he threw all the picks and he just wasn't himself, and it was just like, who is this person, on the field right now? And then at the end it was surprising that he was able to come back and kind of recover from the mess that the first part of the game was.
What an excellent response. I view Russell Wilson's performance as cheating.
Cheating.
Wrong team.
I swear, this is cheating. That shit does not happen. All right.
So Goodell orchestrated this comeback.
No, I'm with Joey. I
was just wondering if Green Bay's going to fire their special teams guy now.
I think it was divine, like Joey was saying. This is the thing: is that I feel like this. I'm on the other sideline. I'm saying a prayer, and to Jesus that says, "Please help me win this game." And then Russell Wilson's on the other side of the field throwing up prayers and getting them answered at the end. He threw up 3 prayers that Jesus won't listen to. The last, that's cheating. And I think praying is cheating in a football contest.
I appreciate that.
I think God is really the 12th man. It's not the fans.
See, there you go. That's the whole point. That is cheating. All right. Joey had the last one of the fill in the blank, or complete this sentence. Had the Carolina Panthers played this weekend versus Green Bay, the game would have been blank.
The game would have been won by the Panthers.
Okay. In the same miraculous fashion?
No, I don't
I'm a
think
Carolina Panther fan.
I don't think so. I think it would have. I think they would have just, recovered the onside kick, and that would have been that. Run the clock out.
All right, Justin, had the Carolina Panthers played this weekend versus Green Bay, the game would have been blank.
The game would have been, I think, fun because I think it would have been a lower scoring game because of how well our defense was playing, and we run the ball a lot more than we could throw, which would keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. So it'd be a lower scoring game. I think the Panthers probably would have won by a field goal or maybe a little more than that. So I think we would have won. This would have been a close game.
Ken, the game would have been blank.
Forfeited. Why the hell would we be playing Green Bay in Seattle?
Yeah, what a great call, Ken.
The weather.
Way to play along is that we had beaten Seattle, we would be playing Green Bay in Green Bay.
Yeah, how'd that turn out the first time?
Okay, Susan, if we had been playing Green Bay, what would have happened? This game would have been blank.
All right, I'm going to say it would have been glorious because we would have needed all of that divine intervention to get there. And then we would have just kept going. So I'm going to say glorious.
This is a true fan, folks. This is Ken. This is what we needed. I would say this would have been like winning the C3 Fantasy Football Championship. All right. Okay.
You know how you beat the Packers? You don't let people eat cheese in your town hall. That's what Seattle did. So that's why they won.
They said no cheese.
Yeah, they banned cheese from their town hall. Yeah, I promise you.
That's awesome. All right, we got two last segments real quick, and we got to get out of here. I got to get out of here because right now it is time.
Oh, you're whispering.
Oh, it's the whisper. It was the whisper?
Yeah.
Let me see. Dang it, you couldn't hear it. The question is, this is time for fact or fiction. Even though, man, that's terrible. The whole music, I've been having problems, and it's Susan's favorite.
I was going to say, that's my favorite part, right?
Fact or fiction! All right. That's what happens when you get a history teacher.
I can't even focus right now. What was that?
That's my favorite.
That's the favorite part. All right, fact or fiction, we'll start with you, Susan. Randall Cobb will be a Packer next year.
Will be a Packer next year?
Yes, will be a Green Bay Packer.
I'll say fact. I say they keep him.
They have to sign. That means Brian Bulaga is going to be free agent, right tackle. No Bulaga. Ken, fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? Randall Cobb will be a Green Bay Packer next year.
I think fact because there's so many, like Joey said, there's so many receivers out there that he may not be able to get at the price he wants, and he'll stay with the winning team and the Super Bowl aspirations. I think he'll stay.
Justin, fact or fiction?
I say fact. I mean, if you could choose between signing a rookie in Adams or signing in Randall Cobb, I think they'd rather go with Cobb, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers would probably have a strong pull in that, saying they should resign Cobb because they have a good relationship, even though I'd love to see him on the Panthers.
Joey, do you like that? Do you say, is it just fact across the board?
I think it's fact. I think Green Bay is going to make a really big push to keep him, and they are wise to do so.
Is that because, like, hey, you're this close to the Super Bowl, let's just bring this team back and get it done again next year?
I think that's part of it. And they know how valuable he is, not just receiving, but as a special teams player.
And his nickname is Tex. So
I'm going to say fiction because,
The
Lone Wolf.
Number one, Lone Wolf, exactly. Number two is Devontae Adams seemed to be really coming on as a rookie. Maybe you just paid Jordy Nelson. Can you lock up that? Or do you say, hey, Aaron Rodgers can do what Tom Brady did for 5 years, and that is just find the next dude and turn him into the next awesome thing. So I'm going to say fiction that Green Bay can't hold both of them at the same time. All right, next one. I'm going to skip the next one because I felt like we've done so much Andrew Luck as it was. I was just going to say Andrew Luck gets a pass, and I know that's fiction. That's fact. That's fact.
Yeah, it is fact.
Okay, here we go. Here's a good one, Joey. Cam Newton gets more money than Russell Wilson. Fact or fiction?
Wow.
It's a tough question. It wasn't so tough last week, was it?
No. I think it's going to be fiction. I think they're going to pay Russell Wilson a ton of dough just for what he's been able to accomplish in his short time in the league. Not minimizing Cam's accomplishments, but they don't quite stack up to what Wilson's been able to do.
So they're going to try to bribe Jesus.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Oh my God.
Justin. Cam Newton, fact or fiction, gets more money than Russell Wilson.
I think it will be close, but Cam's contract might be filled with more incentives than Wilson's because he still has some more stuff to prove. But it also depends who signs their contract first because, I mean, whoever's been signed a contract first usually is making less money than the next elite quarterback. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
Ken, fact or fiction, Cam Newton, more money than Russell Wilson?
Fiction. I mean, let's be realistic here. Wilson's going to have one ring and maybe even two when at the end of this year. And how many does Cam have again? Sorry.
He's not even married. He doesn't even have a wedding ring.
He's got a national championship.
0 to 2.
Would you be married if you were Cam Newton?
Hey, I don't know about his personal life. I don't know.
I would know one thing is I would not be married if I was Cam Newton. That's like being Luke Kuechly and being married.
Exactly.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
you can protect your house.
I would cut my fingers off before I got married.
Is your wife listening?
It'd be hard to tackle that way.
All girls love Luke Kuechly, and that's like Cam Newton is just a black version of that. Like he's perfect human being. Him and his little Shrek ears.
Hey, you're doing yogurt commercials now.
They're
not even that good yet, really. So, or that one. It was kind of forced read. Susan, does Cam Newton get more money than Russell Wilson?
No, I don't think so. So I'll say fiction.
I'm going to say fact. Uh-oh.
Of course.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Here, you want to know why? Very simple. Because Russell
your knees
Wilson...
are burned?
Nope. It's got nothing to do with Cam Newton. Russell Wilson is going to take one for the team. He's going to be Mr. Perfect. And he's going to sign a reduced contract so they can go in and bring in other people and create a dynasty. And Mr. Perfect goes on and wins life. That's what I said. What happens to Russell Wilson. See? I'm telling you, it's going to happen. All right. We've already done the last one, which was the Patriots cheated. Already asked you that, and we all know that. That is...
Now it's a fact.
It's a fact, Jack.
Last segment, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I cannot beat last week's Ice Up Pick of the Week.
Maybe ever.
Justin, actually, I've had some good ones tonight. Maybe I could just put Jesus on trial next. Dang.
You're going to hell for that.
Forgive me.
My God.
Forgive me. I'm a Catholic, man. I'm a Catholic.
You nailed that one.
Oh
my God.
Spiraling out of control. Spiraling out of control. All right, Justin, are you familiar with the Ice Up Picks of the Week?
No, I'm not.
Okay. The Ice Up Picks, you got to listen to the end of the podcast. That's what you got to start doing.
You need to make it shorter. That's the problem.
Is put it on in the gym, dude. Put it on in the gym. You're married. You better keep going to the gym. Don't give up. My thing is this is, well, actually, our thing is this is our very first segment ever, and Ice Up Picks goes to this, is we pick somebody out in the world, It can be in the regular worlds. It could be in the sports worlds. It could be on Twitter of somebody that we tell to ice up. Last week I told 12-year-old boy Cade Pope to ice up. So, Joey, do you got a nice up pick coming this week?
I do. It just came to me tonight about 5 or 6 minutes ago. My ice up pick is going to the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell. Mr. Goodell, this is the second time this season I have iced you up, son. And I'm doing so again. I'm doing so again because you need to not be lenient when it comes to punishing the Patriots for their deflated balls. I expect some severe punishment for the coach and the owner and the team for what they did, because if they can't play by the rules, then they need to suffer the consequences. I expect there to be penalties like how New Orleans was penalized when they got caught with Bountygate. So
Bill Belichick gone for a year?
For a year. Because
Wow.
not because of the one-time incident, but because it's been a pattern. We've seen a pattern here. And, if this was a player who there was a pattern of violations, would he not be suspended for a year?
If it was Greg Hardy, it would be.
Right, and there wasn't even a pattern with Hardy. So I say to you, Roger Goodell, ice up.
Ice up, son. You know what? If that happens, if Bill Belichick is suspended for an entire year, Joey, I pick the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, Rex Ryan is going to step in and win it. And
I have a quarterback.
Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson would be a good fit for Rex Ryan in the type of football he likes to play. He is a veteran, so he doesn't have to teach him, and we could get something out of it. That's my proposition, Mr. Gettleman. Listen up. I like it. I think it would work. Okay. Susan, did you bring an ice up pick?
Technically, no, but I watch you guys enough. I watch you guys enough to think, okay, if I ever had one, what would it be? And I've got one.
Nice.
All right. So it's kind of twofold, I guess. It's to all the people that are on Twitter or Facebook that all the fans out there that at the first sign of, the first bad play or the first thing going wrong, they're like, oh, the game's over, or oh, there's the season, or, they just give up. I hate that.
Amen.
And then the people that the first thing, that Cam does wrong, it's, oh, put in Derek Anderson. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. I think that is ridiculous on both of those parts. And so to those people, I say, ice up some.
Ice up some. A.K.A. Monty.
No, I'm not calling names.
I'm calling it out.
People like that. So I just talking all of them.
Ken, do you got one? Because I got one. We can't hear you. You're muted. So I'm going to give you mine while you unmute this. My ice up pick of the week goes to Alvin Bailey, right tackle of the Seattle Seahawks, who got busted on his tail by Julius Peppers with a one-armed shove. And this dude, this huge man got shoved by a 35-year-old man, made Peppers look like he was 22. And this is a testament to Peppers' workout routine, who Charles Johnson does work out with in the offseason. He is a Green Bay Adonis, and he busted your fat tail down. Man, terrible. You got just brutalized on national TV. So this goes to you, Alvin Bailey. Ice up, son. Ken, you got one? Well, you got one for us?
Yeah, I mean, people go to the NFL, they want to win a Super Bowl. That's the individual goal for a lot, most people. When they're going in the NFL, don't know anything yet. Some people, their reputation precedes them. Some people stay too long. It's time to go. Peyton Manning, retire. Ice up, son.
I agree with that.
Oh, I got a last-minute ice-up pick. I even forgot, dude. Did you hear John Fox, who is now the coach
Chicago.
of the Chicago Bears, called his quarterback Jake Cutler
Yeah.
twice? He didn't even call his starting quarterback by his correct name. So either he's saying, hey, Jake Cutler, you need to ice up. B, he wants Jake Delhomme to be the quarterback. Or C, John Fox is old and delirious and a little just salty all day long. So that was an extra one to you, Jake Cutler. Ice up. This is the C3 podcast. I'll let everybody give their Twitter plugs real quick, and we'll jump on out of here because it is late.
Yeah.
J Ray, big play, J Ray. Tell everybody how they can find you on Twitter.
You can find me at JRay19.
And check out his work on C3. He puts out great work and is certainly, thanks for all the help this season, Jay.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoyed it.
Man, we've been having a blast. Susan, the C3 Fantasy Football Champion, you are active on Twitter more than me, even. Tell everybody how they can follow you.
You can find me SCSusan1516. And thank you guys for having me tonight.
Yeah. Do you have more Twitter followers than your kids?
Yeah, because one of them isn't on Twitter yet.
Okay, I know you do. You got more Twitter followers than me, I'm sure. Ken, the commish, how can they follow you?
At Ken_Dye, D-Y-E.
And Joe, the guy that keeps the healthcare industry running
Business.
single-handedly. He is totally, I think Barack Obama mentioned you for job growth in the healthcare industry tonight. Joey, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter. I'm the freaking Puerto Rican at Joe Riolano. Hit me up and make sure it's before 11.
You missed your window, folks. This is the C3 podcast. We've run late. We've had a lot to talk about. Remember, Andrew Luck sucks. CarolinaCatChronicles.com is awesome. And the Panthers are great despite not being in the Super Bowl or even in the NFC Championship. But check us out next Tuesday and come to the website for all the hottest Panther fan perspective, news, and opinions. That's it, guys.
Thank you, and good night, San Diego.
Good night, everybody.